elaborated examples. And in that particular examples, we've seen how to implement a simple if and how to implement if else and how to implement else if in a detailed pattern we have been seen on this one. So now for last one, which we have invested is nested if else. So how to do the nested if. So just we wanted to see that one and then quickly we will jump on to this. Okay, so can you show me the where you have done the if conditions? Is this the one?
It's not automation.
I asked you to write some more complex programming, right? So complex, not programming means complex conditions, right? You've written all those things, or this is the one which you're talking about. Okay. Many a times I told align the code, it gives you the readability. Okay, now this is what the basic thing which we will be writing about it. Else if program with the multiple conditions. Now we discuss, I told, right? So we discuss the simple if, else if else, and else if. Now we wanted to discuss about nested if. So now what do you meant by nested if? So actually, many a times you'll be seeing it up nested for means nested loops. This is nested if. If nested if means inside a if there is another if. So then that is called nested if. For an example, now it is, see, the marks are greater than 75, and this is the marks is greater than 60. Now actually you're giving the greater size, but the lesser we will not have it, right? So now what we can keep is, if I given it, okay, first I'll execute the program and then I'll show it so that you can understand what we can do on this. Or else I'll take a simple example, not to complicate this one. Okay. So now what I wanted to do is int, I'll take a 3 variables like int value 1 equal to 200 and 200 and int value 2 equal to 150 and int value 3 equal to 400. Okay, just I'm randomly taking some values, and what I'll say that is if, and always you remember that the keywords would be in the small letters. Okay, if, and Java is completely case sensitive, so you have to be very cautious when you're doing it. So now this value is greater than this. Okay, so then you'll be saying that, and here you'll be keeping this, saying that now you'll be writing SISO int value 1 is greater. Okay, so now we wanted to execute this one. Just yes, you write always a code and then you can see. Okay, now it is printing. Now what I wanted to see is I wanted to know, so once after this condition satisfied, means once this is greater than this, then I wanted to validate this is greater than this or this is greater than this. Now what I'll try to do is, now inside is, if I write another if saying that this value is greater than this value. So now if you see here, SYSO, so here I'll be writing that. So here I will be writing that value 3 is greater than value 2. This is what I wanted to write. So now if you see here, what I'm trying to do, I'm here checking that value 3 is greater. When I wanted to check this, now I wanted to check this when the value, okay, I'll keep this as value 1 so that it would make more sense. So now value 1 is greater than 2, then I'll be checking that whether the value 3 is greater than this. Okay, so now I'm trying to give this one. So checking or validating value 1 is greater. So this is how first I'll be writing myself. Now then I'll be checking this. Okay. Now here I just wanted to keep it as 180 so that it can gives me the answer. See, now if I execute the program, value 1 is then I need to keep this one more, right? Because I'm checking the condition here, value 3 is greater than this one. Now you see it. So first one, the first condition is satisfied here. This is greater, then it had been print out int value 1 is greater. And then value 3 is greater than value 2 or value 1. So here, this is what the condition which we are checking it up. So now this is passed and this is passed. So now first it has been checked with this value and this value. And then on this particular third value, it started to check on this. So now you have been written this one. And already, if at all you wanted, I can write another condition also here saying that now if value 3, I'll do one thing. I can just directly copy it to save the time. So if you see here 2 and here I'm comparing with 3. Okay, then I'll give this one with the 3 and 2. Okay, so now I'll give one under. So int value 2 greater than 2. Now, if you see here, what you wanted to see here is the first, this condition should satisfy, then this condition should satisfy, then this condition should satisfy. So usually what we can keep, so we can keep AND operator and then we can combine. But at one shot, I shouldn't compare this all. So for an example, now if, I'm doing some health checkup. So in this one, so they should be definitely 18 years above. The patient should be the 18 years above. And then the patient should have minimum of 60 kilos weight. And then if that condition also satisfied, then it should be like he should be approximately his blood levels should be more than 14%. So then we will take the blood donation. So that's a simple example. So now these are the criteria just they need to satisfy. So at that point of time, you can have this nested ifs. Means that until unless that first condition satisfied, it shouldn't come to the second condition at all. If it's satisfied with the second condition, then it need to go for the third condition. If satisfied, then only it should execute the program. Here you can keep the same if else program in the if not only I have been implemented with the simple if, but you can implement with the simple if else also. So now you can keep the else parts and always you can validate that. So this is how the if else and then the things would be executed. So now if you see here, if inside a if and if inside another if. So now you can write the same if programs if you wanted. So now inside this particular if, you can see that another if program also you can write it. Now here what we wanted to do here, we will be trying to compare this. So now here you can say that value 3. So now this is how you can write any particular conditions, and then you can check out, and then you can see what would be the answer.
Here, until unless this pass, this will not come inside this. This will not come inside this. Now, for an example, now there is a problem here itself. So now, if I have been given this as 20, now if this is 20, then I executed this. Nothing is executed. Nothing is output because this condition itself it has been failed. Now, with this condition failed, it will not even come to this. It will not come to this, and it will not even come to this. Because the entry level itself now see the body of this particular if body is this. If condition fail, directly it will exit to this, and if this condition fail, so then it will exit from this, and this if body exit from here to here, and for this if is this. So this is how the nested if would be written, and then this is how the nested if would be work for us. Okay, any questions? And always remember, these conditions are very, very important. I told you, right? With a small equal to greater than less than, you will ruin the program. And it will result into very big bugs. So always, it is very important. That's the reason we should know the operators very well. Assignment operator, comparative operators, comparison operators, arithmetic operators, logical operators. If you know that operators, then that would be used in these particular conditions. Okay, so any questions here? Any questions on nested if?
No, sir.
Yes, no?
No, sir.
Okay. Good. Stop sharing, Vishwa. So, Soumya, share the screen.
Yes.
You guys are able to hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Share the screen, Soumya.
Is it visible, sir?
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Okay, give me the control. Okay, now next. So by this we have been completed the if means if conditions part. Now we wanted to go for the for loops. What do you meant by a loop? What do you meant by a loop?
It goes
It repeats
round
and
round
again
until
the
the
condition
false.
Fails.
Okay, I'll ask one by one. So, however, so we got the answer. For an example, I wanted to print something for multiple times. For an example, now let me take this example. I wanted to print SYSO. Okay, so here I'll say that. I don't know why it was saying that. Hey, learning Java is fun and easy. So now when I say this one, now I'll just take this statement. I wanted to print this particular statement for 10 times. So now I have been try to I wanted to do this one, right? So I'll just come this and then I executed it. So now always save the sources. See, now it was printing to me. It is for 10 times, 20 times, I can copy and paste. If I wanted to print it for 100 times, if I wanted to print it for 1,000 times. See, and even is it really required? I need to paste the code like this every time. So if I wanted to do something, same activity again and again for a respective number of times, then we required loop. The loop itself, it's nothing but you seen it, right? So recently some time travel loop is there. I'm just trying to open some browser and then show it. So now loop. So now there would be a time travel movies we came, right? So some movies recently. So that is what. So now the loop is nothing but it will do the same activity again and again. So then this is called a loop. Okay, it's a series of activities. If it means if it performs the same thing again and again with the same steps. So that is what the loops are. Now, for this one in Java, we do have three categories of loops. Now, one is for loop, one is while loop, for, while, and do while. So there are three loops for us. So now, the most important thing which usually we will use it is for loop. And the basics part of this particular today's is very important because I'm trying to let you know the debugging of this particular program, not only for this program, anything you wanted to do a debugging. So how to do the debugging? Example, now my mom is cooking a biryani or something else. She was trying to cook. And then when she's trying to cook, usually I'll go and stand. So now first she will taste something and then, okay, not good. Once again, she will put some lemon and all. And then once again, she will taste. And then she will feel that, hey, salt is less. And then once again, she will take the masala and then she will put that masala. So now if you see here, see consistently she was trying to do something and then, hey, this is a problem and this is a fix. This is a problem, this is a fix. Now, we need to give a stop, do taste, and then fix it. Stop, do taste, fix it. So now, when you want her to fix something, you need to understand what is the exact problem. So when she tastes that, she'll understand that there is missing of salt, or she tastes that missing of spices in masala is missing it. And when she tastes that, missing that, the lime, the salt will be more. So that the reason she wanted to add the lime. So now, according to that, then she will prepare it and then she will give it to us. So now the assigns of this one. So now when you're preparing some code, when you get the errors or issues, you need to stop it and see how it will be executed and then it will be proceeded further. So that is called debugging. However, as part of loops, why I'm trying to say is, if you understand the debugging in the loops, it would be much more easier for you to understand. So that's the reason I have been waited for the loops to get it understand. Okay. There is a video in YouTube also. I think we kept it for the previous batches. I didn't record a detailed version of this videos, but I'll try to give elaborate over here. But I'll always recommend you to see the previous videos because we might give lots and lots of example when we are trying to implement on this. Okay, now first let's see on this for loops and then let me go for the debugging. And now coming back here, now this is what my agenda. I wanted to print these many things at one shot with a simple statement. Now what I wanted to do, I'll try to take the help of for loop. So now I wanted to do a repetitive action that I need to print the statement for 10 times. Or here it is 11 times, right? So 11 times I wanted to print it. So now rather than copying this 11 times, how I can do this one for the 11th times, I wanted to know now. Now what I'll do is, so first of all, I'll take as okay, I'll write so that I can feel that. Now I'll do one thing. Okay, I don't know why it was taking. Okay, hope this is clearly visible. Now I wanted to write for a for loop to print the statement for 11 times. Okay, this is what the activity which I'm trying to do it. Now, as I told you, for, as soon as I written for, so now always remember that don't write capital letters or don't write first letter capital and doing it. Java is case sensitive. Always remember that all the system keywords will be starting with the small letters. So if else anything, because whenever in my starting stage I used to have the capital letter first. So that's the reason I'm saying it. So never use the capital letters. Now let's understand the syntax of this particular Java. Sorry, the syntax of this particular for loop, so that it would be very easy for us to do it. Now, what we wanted to do is, so first of all, whenever we wanted to keep this one, so now as you by default, you know that this is the for loop body. Previously, you will remember, right? Always remember, by your words itself, we can understand. If conditions for loops are different, conditions are different. Okay, conditions means based upon that condition, perform this action. Loops are iterate the same thing for multiple times. There is a lots of difference, like a sky and snail. So we have these particular differences. So don't combine the conditions and the loops. Always use for loops, or you can say that if conditions, but don't say that mixing of this or juggling of these words will give you the wrong impression. Okay, be cautious when you're using it. Now coming back here, this is for and this is for body. Now in the for body, now what I wanted to do it. Now the first step number one, from where I should start. What is I need to start. So here I need to tell about two things for you. Now when I'm doing it, int value equal to okay. Now I have been done. What is this called? This statement called as
Declaring.
Declare.
Declaring.
Declaring.
Variable.
Guys, always remember that the terms are very, very important. Don't juggle the words. Okay. This is called as this is called as declaration of a variable. So now here we seen it. We have seen that that's a data type and followed with the variable name. Okay, that is what this is called, declaration. Now I'm doing this. So now what is this called as?
Initialization of variable.
This is what we are trying to do. We are keeping this value into this one. This is assigning of the variables. And if I taken this one, can I give null for this?
No.
No, sir.
Why?
It's
Already we
integer
given the
value.
values. Time.
It's integer.
Already we assigned the variables.
So what? So now
Integer value, sir.
hold on. I just wanted to see the names who was answering this. I can't have this option.
It's an integer value.
That's the answer.
Primitive
Always
data
listen.
type
Primitive data types we will not have
not
the
have null values, sir.
So now see, now if I wanted to assign, so now I can do this. Who stopped me? But I can't initialize with the null values. See, initialization means what would be the first value? What would be the basic value? That is what the initialization. So now if I initialize the values with 0 or with a null, see now 0 integers, I can give it as a 0, or float I can give 0.0, or string I can give it as a null. When I have been given this value, then this is called as initialization. So this is called initialization. So now if I assign any value, so then this is assigning the value to the variables. And then here I'm initializing the values. Initializing the values means what would be the starting time, means before you starting the program, what would be the value should be there. That is what initialization. And assigning is you're just assigning a value to a variable. There is a difference between assigning and then initialization. Initialization, always you remember that. Nana. Initialization is nothing but, so here we will be having as this is the starting value which I have it, or which I need to start from this. So this is what called as initialization. and then assigning. So that's the basic difference between these both. Okay, so always this is very important, because when you're talking to the people, this will matters a lot. Now what we wanted to do is the first step as for the for loop. Now when you're doing it for the for loop, the first thing is we need to it, and right, so you can declare and assign. So now the same thing is like if I assign this value as 200 like this, that's it. Now what I'm trying to do, I'm trying to initialize this and then trying to uh, assign the value also. So now I'm declaring and then assigning. Both the things at one shot, I'm trying to do it. Got it? So this is declaration, assigning, initialization. Now coming back here, now in the for loop, the first statement what I want to do is initialization, sorry, declaration and then assigning, or declaration and assign initialization. Now what I need to do, first declaration, I wanted to declare an integer, and then I want to declare the variable name, right? Int, don't use I, T, K, J, L, M. If you learn it, now we recruited few people. So in major projects also, they are writing I, J, K, L, M. That's really wrong. You just assume that you written 10,000 lines of code. Can you tell me what is the first line of I, J you have used there? Always you should keep a meaningful name. That is very, very important. Okay, so here I keep it as int value. Now I have declared this value. Now I'm going to initialize this particular value. Initialization, I do it for 0. Now what I have done, my initialization is done. The first part of for loop will be having the initialization. See, overall there are 4 steps which we wanted to use it for loop. Step number 1. This is what you need to do: declaration and initialization of the variables. Okay, you have done it. Now step number 2. What you need to do, you need to give where this particular condition need to be terminated. Terminated condition means at what is a condition where this particular condition need to be terminated, or how many times this particular condition need to be run. So that particular condition you would be giving it. So now with this particular condition, we can know the termination point and how many times this need to be run. How many times need to be run? Many times it need to be run. Now, third step for this one is we will be having, we wanted to iterate, right? So now you need to do increment or decrement. Means you wanted to increase that particular loop. See now someone, right? So now for an example, now when I was running around the park, so someone need to count the rounds, how many rounds I need to make it. So now we have this stopwatches. So I'll ask, hey, so you can count how many rounds I will. So he will keep one alarm or one book, and he will know that, hey, round 1, round 2, round 3, round 4. Incrementally, he will be increasing the rounds. Now, when you increment it, so that when I reached 50 rounds, I need to stop the running. So that is what my target. So now that is where we wanted to have some increment and decrement operators. Now, apart from this one, if you see here, increment, decrement operators, conditions, declaration, initialization. So this is the reason you need to know the basics, the operators, and all the things over here. Now, the last part is implementation of body. So these are the 4 steps which we need to learn for loop. Very easy, very simple. Now you come here. Now for I have been declared and then assign, means initialize the value. This is done. Now this one condition I wanted to give it. Now what is my condition? So now this need to run for, this learning Java is fun. I need to run it for 11 times, right? Now I'll be keeping it for 11. Now if I given 11, how many times it will run now?
Less than 11 means 10 times.
11
Oh.
times.
10 times.
If we give less than or equal to, it will come 11 times.
10 or 11?
11
10
times.
times.
11 times.
11 times. Sir.
Okay. Can you bring your answer in the chat? Will it run for 10 or 11?
Then, sir.
11 times.
Yes, sir, 11, sir. 10 times, sir. With 0.
Okay. Srileka. So can you tell me why it is 11 times?
Sir, for loop, it will print because without checking the condition, it will print the value of declaration.
What are you talking, Srileka?
Sir,
Nishant?
It is for do loop.
Oh, okay. Let's do those things. Will go later. Why it will take 11 times or 10 times?
It starts from 0, so it will be executed for 11 times. 11 times, sir.
Yeah,
It's a
sir.
very simple
Yeah, it
answer.
starts-
What's the complexity? Why you are talking about a lot of things? It's starting from
If it's-
0. Now it's when it starts from 0, it will take 11 times. If it is starting from 1, then it will work till 10 times.
10 times.
Okay. So this is the first part of the body. So now first I have been initialized and declared, and then here the condition I have been given, and then here I'll be jumping over here, and I'll be taking this one as the increment operator. So for an example, now I wanted to take, this is a variable, right? Now I'll give plus plus. If I given plus plus, how much value it will be incremented?
One value.
One
One
time.
value.
After
It will be
the
incremented
operation.
with the, it will be incremented with the one value. What's the problem? So I have declared this one. So multiple times. I need to stop this. Okay. Now 11 times. So now what I want, and then the fourth step, what I need to do, I need to implement what I need to do it. So I have been implemented this. So here, if you see here, I just wanted, I wanted to have this statement to print 11 times, right? I can directly copy paste it here. Now, see, without for loop, we see in the output. So now the output looks like this. Okay. Now with the for loop, so we will see how it means, what it will try to do it. What it, now you are seeing it, right? Now you can say that another statement. So this bar, I am in for loop. Okay, so I'll comment this particular piece of code and I'll come back here. Now I execute this one. See what it was happening. You see it. Learning Java is fun. Actually, I wanted to print this statement only, but as it is the next step, I'm in the loop, in the for loop. It was trying to print me. Now I wanted to see that the loop number means what number it was trying to print me. I'll just take this value, and if I keep, if I keep here, I can see that the iteration counts also. I can see it. See now 0th iteration, first, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th, 11 times. As it started from 0, it will have the 11 times iteration. So this is how this particular for loop will be implemented. Now, if you see here, to give a quick recap, this is a syntax of for. And in the for, we will be having 4 statements. One is declaration and the initialization. So now this is what the declaration and then initialization have been initialized to 0. And then we have been given the condition.
HTML 7370.
Guys, Be attentive here. I don't know with whom you people are talking. At least keep on mute and talk. So now here we will be having the value less than this particular condition, and then this particular value would be having the incremented. Now when we have, means this is what the syntax of a for loop, and once we given it, so now this is,
300 rupees up.
who the people is talking there. Okay. So now if you see here, now this is what the value which it was happening. So in this particular value, okay, so now this is the value which we are having the incrementing here, and then we are trying to print it. So now that is what we will be trying to see it in the console. Now if I don't wanted to see this and only I wanted to see the output which I wanted to do it, so here you can see that. So now what I wanted to do is how this is running, or how the loop would be iterated for the multiple times or the multiple things which we wanted to understand. So I'll just try to look at into that program and I'll try to do it. Any questions here? What do you meant by for, and then how it would be working over here?
No, sir.
Oh, sir.
Now I wanted to increment this particular value, means every two times I need to increment this. Means I wanted to increment the value. Here we are trying to increment the value with the 1. Now I wanted to increment the value with 2. Then how I need to do it?
+2, sir.
Plus equal to 2. Plus
Uh,
equal to 2.
Oh, this will work.
No, the plus
No,
equal to.
Equal plus equals to 2, sir.
This
Plus
No,
equal
no,
to 2.
plus equal to.
see, always you remember that. Now you can see the number of iterations and all the things you can see it. Now 0, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Now if you wanted to do it for 3, then we can go for 3, and then it will start executing it. So now if you see executed, it will print for 3. Now based upon this particular logic, it will start to iterate it. So you have to be very clear and see. Now first it will initialize the value, and on the initialization of value, it will check the condition. And then it will go ahead. So this is how this particular looping would work on. So is it not easy? If you understand these things, these are very, very simple and very, very easy. And at a certain point of time, I was not able to explain this. What is this for loops? I feel very bad. So now once after learning this, it's a very simple thing. See, now I told you, right, until unless we don't know something, that is where we feel that it is difficult. Once we learn, it is very simple. And you take anything. So now we wanted to do a decrement. Now if we wanted to do a decrement, so now what I wanted to do, I wanted to do the decrement of here. Now what I'll try to write?
Minus.
Can this program will run?
Yes, sir.
No, sir.
No. Because it will go to minus
No.
Then how it will
negative
run?
numbers. It will not run.
We need to assign the value.
First time it will run, sir.
See, because it taken the negative value and it is an infinite loop. You're seeing it, right? The loop is not breaking. It was going. The system will crash very soon. Stop. You see it? To what values it went? Because I have decremented and then I didn't given the condition, stop condition. So now less than 0, it went and then it started printing all. So now what I need to do, when I given minus, my terminated condition first means I need to give my starting condition. And then where it should end, I need to end at 0. This is the condition, we need to change it. And then you start executing it.
Why it is not working? Can anyone say? You seen it, right? I'm trying to execute the program. The program is not executed. What was the problem?
Our condition in value less than 0. We are giving a value is 11. That's why it's not executed.
The value is 11, so that it will take 11, 10, 9, 8. It need to execute it, right?
When is not
We
less
need to
than
assign
0,
the
sir.
value in
Okay,
outside
hold on.
variable.
I'll come one by one. Okay, Swapna, tell me.
Here we give int value is less than 0.
Huh.
11 is not less than 0. No? That's why it's not executed.
I need to just change this one into the greater than. That's it.
Yes.
Yes.
See, these are very small mistakes. So now you see it, it printed. Now from 11, 10, 9, 8, 6, 7, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So now what you need to understand is, now when we have this particular value, I need to decrement from this particular values. See, now the value should be greater than 0, and then my upper limit is 11 and the lower limit is 0, and you decrement this. With this particular thing, you can have it. So now that is the reason you need to understand the operators well. If you understand operators well, it is very easy to do this all. Now let's understand this one very clearly in terms of this. What I'll try to do is, I'll come here and I'll give a double click here. Double click on this. You see here a blue color ball.
Yes.
You're seeing it, right? A blue color dot.
Yes,
If
sir.
I double click on this, it gone. If I wanted, I can double click on this. Now the blue color ball came. Now I wanted to do a debugging for this one. Now what I need to do, I double clicked it. Now what is this one? This is called debugger pointer. So now if I wanted to keep this one, even see there is a bug symbol. You seen it, right? Bug symbol. So this is where you wanted to execute. So now this is a debugging mode of execution. This is normal mode of execution. So this is a debugging mode. You see, it's like a bug. And this one is normal mode. Now, if you wanted to keep that, so the debugger pointer, so now this is called as a breakpoint. Now, what is a breakpoint? For an example, you will be going in a highway, there will be giving a toll, they will stop you, and then you can go. So now that's the break, means you are giving a stop here, and then you are going, because you have written 1000 lines in 500th line, I need to debug it. First 500 lines, it is very good. I don't want it to stop. It goes everywhere. And at a 500th line, I'll keep a breakpoint, and that will stop. The breakpoint is nothing but it stops the execution at that particular point. So now it stops the execution here. Now it will go step by step. Now, what is the step by step we'll have it is, in the debugging, you would be having majorly two things. One is step into and step over. Step into, step over. Now, step into means, for an example, now I'm going, see, now this is my line. I wanted to have a pit. Now what I'll do, in our child days, all the water will be stagnant here. We will jump into this, and then we'll flush this water, and then we'll walk. Means you're jumping into this, means you're going into this. So then this is called into. Step over, you after when you come to your teen, so then you'll start jump from here to here. I don't want to get dirty with water. You'll feel it, right? So just we'll jump from this to this. Now this is called step over, right? The same names they have been kept it. Step into, step over. Now these are the steps. Keep breakpoint at the step. So now this is the breakpoint, and the execution will come and halt here. Halt means stop here. And from here, each step, I can go inside the methods, or I can directly execute this and then come back. So this is called step into and step over. So step over, it will not go into the method. It will directly jump onto the method. Into, it will take you inside the method, and then it start executing it. Now I'll try to explain that so that it would be very easier for you to see what we are trying to do it. And guys, this is very, very, very important. So if you don't understand, you can ask me. Now what I'll try to do, I'll try to write a small static. I forgot the shortcut key for this. Okay, I'll type. So public. There is each explanation for everything. What do you meant by public and void, and I'll say that printing method. Always you should remember method name should start with small letters. And here we'll have it. So now what I'll try to do, I'll take these two things out here and I'll keep the values here.
Is it not static void?
Public static void. Static void. Okay, so now still what it was coming. Void is recorded expected. Public static void. Why it was showing me error?
It's inside the main method.
See, I'm very stupid. See, now this is what I usually do it. What I'm trying to do, I'm trying to define inside a method inside a method. I will not change. So always I do this mistake. Okay, so now I created this method outside. Okay, now what I wanted to do, I wanted to call this particular method inside this. Simple, right? So anyways, I can do on this and I can call this. And now when I started to execute this program, let me clear it off all the things because I don't want it to get confused. Okay. Yes, it's all cool. All things okay. It's printing me, right? What I did nothing. So just it started working. It was not working previously. Okay. Now what we need to do, I'll keep a debugging point here. You see it, right? This one. If I run this one, it will run normally. But I wanted to run it in the debugger mode. What I did, so here I'll write some more statements saying that sy so. Okay, boss, I'm going to debug this program. Okay, now I have been written here. Now I kept the direct point here. Now let's see. I just starting the debugging now. As soon as I click the debugging pointer, you seen it, right? This statement has been printed. The execution of this statement was done. It got stopped over here. You seen it, right? The green color highlighted line.
Yes, sir.
Now, by default, it is in the, you can see it, right? Debug mode. This is in debug. Now, I told you two things. One is step into, and then one is into the step over. So which one I wanted to do it? Now you see it, right? Here, two things are there. You are seeing this particular symbol, right?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
So now you can see here two symbols. One, you see it, there is a gap inside it. Means it was trying to go inside the method. And you see it, the next one, it is a step over. Step into, step over. You can directly click on this one. Else, you can directly go here in the run. Into the run, you can see here, step over, step into. F5, F6.
F6.
So F6 is step over, step into. Okay. Now, before going into this one, I just wanted to see the values of this particular things. Now, what is the value of int now? Currently, current value is what?
11.
11.
So now you go, see now, what you can do is double click on this, right click on this, and then on this particular right click, Vinay, this is 10:30, Vinay. I informed you already for Vamsi on this. 10:30 we have the meeting, 10:30 to 2 o'clock. Okay, so now if you see here, that value, watch. If you see here, now the int value is, nothing is there. Now, what I'll try to do, I'm trying to do I wanted to see it, right? F5 and F6. F5 is step into, step over. Now you see here, now I clicked F5. See now from this statement, it went to the next statement. So now this is F5. Now you see the value of this one. See, the int value is 11. So now you have one spectacles. You seen it, right? The spectacles, which is called expressions. So the value is 11 now. Now I wanted to go step into, right? I wanted to go into this method now. You see it? Where is this method? The method is here. It ends inside the method. Now what it will try to do? It will try to, now it is in the line number 21. You can see it one arrow mark.
Yes.
So this is called instruction pointer. Okay, the instruction pointer is pointing to this line number 23. Now okay, I given the F5. So now you see why it went to println method also. Now you see in our program, we are in this program, right? So in this program, we have println method. It went inside that particular println method. So now if you see here, that's a println method. So now what I'll try to do, I'll do F6. I'll come out. Now you see here, I clicked F6. So that's the reason it came out of the method. Now println. If I give an F5, once again, it will go to the println. Now I'm giving an F6. Okay, I'm just trying to click step over. See now, I clicked on it. It came, it printed both the statements. And then once again, it came for the for loop. Now, once it comes to the for loop, see now, if you wanted to have the more vision, okay, so you can open these all. You can see it, the expression window. You can see the value, right? Now, I wanted to give another F5. So as soon as I given the F5, now what would be the value? What is the value of int?
10.
Now it decreased to 10. Now it decreased to 10. See, now you can see that values here so that it is easy for you to understand. Just I dragged it. Now the value is 10. Now I wanted to go for step over. Okay, because previously I shown you the step into, right? Now step over. It printed me this one. So now what I'll try to do? Now, that's the reason I don't want to have any other programs apart from this. Close tabs, only for loop. Now I wanted my, where is my console? I'll just go to Windows, show perspective, console. Okay, now you can see it, right? You can see my console here, and you can see my code here, my values here. Now what I wanted to do, I wanted to step over. Okay, now you see it, the value is 9. And the loop is running. Okay, once again I'll do a step over. You see it, now value is 8. You're seeing the values here, right?
Yes.
You are seeing the values here. You always monitor here. Okay, now I'm just clicking step over, and here you can see it in my console what the values are there. So now it was printed for 11, 10, 8, 9. So now it will start doing it again. See, now it became 7. For 7th time it started printed. Now 6th time printed, 5th time printed, 4th time it printed, 3rd time it printed, 2nd time it printed. First time it printed. Now what means, what the condition we have been written here? The
Zero
condition
will
is
become
greater than
false.
0. Now the condition will get failed. So now it will stop and then it will go have it. You see it? It came out, this particular, the green color came out from this particular pointer and it was pointing out the 20. Now you're seeing this one at the 20 line. And now after this one, this will stop the execution. So this is how you need to, first of all, whenever you are iterating, so now you're printing that stars, right? Printing that star icon and all. So now that particular star icons and all, you need to debug it and then you need to see it. Just if you wanted to add any value, just double click on this, right click on this, add to the watch. Add to watch. So when you're on the debugging mode, then you can be started. So now first you keep your breakpoint and then you start debugging, and you're starting debugging, you got it. At that time, double click it, right click it, and then add to the watch. When you add to the watch, then this would be like this. Okay, so this is how we will add all the values and start doing the debugging. Okay, so go back and debug that particular star program. And then as you come back on Monday, you should show me how you're debugging and how your a for loop should increment and decrement. So you know, right? Pyramid and reverse pyramid. So when you're giving it, so show me that particular pyramid and reverse pyramid printing with this particular debugging mode, and then you can go ahead with it. So this is how you need to learn. And the most important thing is, if you don't understand the debugging, you can't do any other things. Debug every program and see how it is working. Add those values into the expression and see it, and then run it and see. Actually, here it is not switching. So usually it will switch to the debugging mode. So this would be the debugging mode. We can see it. However, you practice this one, come back. And tomorrow evening, you will have assessment on loops, on conditions and operators and the basics. Whatever we have been learned for last 1 week, you will have the assessment for tomorrow evening, 4:30 or 5 o'clock. So Pina will be taking care on this. Okay. Any questions in debugging or in loops? No, sir. Okay. Thank you all. Have a great day. Let's catch back on Monday morning. So I wanted to see your debugging things on Monday and your assessment tomorrow. Take care. See you all. Bye.
Awesome.